But you won't forget that hug because it was very tight, it was very intense. I felt so humbled. So this was this little girl in her 20s. I went home, I told him, do you know I saw Professor Jerick and he gave me a hug. Professor, you haven't changed. When you talk about 80s, it's the numbers, the strength, the face, because of the kindness you assume. And today I stand at the level of intercession between the past and the present, and what my brother Joe Chogu has talked about, intergenerational shift. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm humbled to be in your midst. That little girl who came into your office, you made it possible for her to join the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution without knowing me, without the fact that I was from another region, just because you saw that I had the potentials. My growth is thanks to your kindness, sir. I haven't had the opportunity to say it publicly, and that is the spirit we should bring into public spaces, to have the heart to grow. He talks about empathy, your empathy in definition. Thank you for all you did. Thank you for all you're doing and what you will continue to do because you have the strength. Your Excellencies present here, members of Diplomatic Corps, my brother and friend, Dr. Joe Ochogu, who was also the PA when we started the Institute. So you can see it's a baptism of fire. All the former DGs, my bosses, with respect, I send you warm greetings. Extreme scholars and practitioners of peace, partners here present, my colleagues of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, I picked something clearly from Professor Jerry Gana's intervention. People matter more than things. And if there's nothing we take away from this year's commemoration and celebration, please tell your neighbor, people matter more than things. We live in a world where people have become so plastic, so materialistic that we lose ourselves. It is therefore a great honor for me to stand before you as we mark 2 decades, 2 remarkable occasions, the 2025 International Day of Peace and the 25th anniversary of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, where I started my professional career. I extend heartfelt congratulations to the dynamic colleague of mine who's the DG. I'm so excited, my brother and friend, Dr. Joseph Ochogu, and the entire staff of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution on the remarkable occasion of their Silver Jubilee anniversary. These are not just ceremonial milestones, as we've been reminded, they are moments of deep reflection and renewed commitment. I don't want to go into the details. Professor Jerry Gana has established the fact that there is a decline in peace, and with statistics to back it up, and we are a living witness to the pushback we are experiencing in all affairs. For a quarter of a century, the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution has remained proudly a beacon of knowledge, dialogue, innovation in the pursuit of peace, conflict prevention, and nation building. Friends, your unwavering commitment to research, policy development, and capacity building has strengthened Nigerian and Africans' effort towards sustainable peace and security. So therefore, I think you should be excited. I am, because for me, this is our 25th anniversary. As you celebrate, may your vision, partnerships, and contributions continue to inspire generations and shape pathways to lasting peace in this great country, Nigeria, West Africa, and Africa as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, it also heralds the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, a reminder of humanity's collective resolve to reject war and to pursue peace as the foundation of our common future. Let us therefore seize this opportunity to honor the legacy of the UN, recommit to the ideals of the Charter, and act decisively so that the next generation will not inherit a fractured world but a peaceful and just world. The International Day of Peace calls the world to pursue, to reflect, but then to act. This year's theme, Act Now for a Peaceful World, is an urgent need for us to build peace in a fragile world. This is not a slogan, it is a summon to every one of us. It summons leaders, institutions, the civil society, the men, the women, the youth, and indeed every one of us. There's no need to emphasize that we live in a world where fragility defines our global realities. From conflicts that devastate entire regions, like we see in the West African region, to the slow violence of climate change, to toxic spread of misinformation, disinformation, to fracture societies, peace everywhere is under severe strain. And Professor Jerry Gana alluded to it in a very clear manner. Yet, fragility is not our destiny. If anything, it's a reminder that the window of action is narrow and the cost of inaction is high. Today, while we are commemorating the International Day of Peace, it is not just about celebrating, it's about choosing peace and acting urgently, intentionally, without delay. Like he said, peace delayed is peace denied. Now, what is fragility? We talk about a lot of this concept, but just to give it a little framing, we must acknowledge that the fragility of our time faces a number of these issues. It could be more. Armed conflicts, they continue to ravage the entire region and, of course, the world, with Africa having one of the highest numbers of displacement. They include climate change, pandemics, the COVID, the Ebola, health emergencies. They also include technology, as he said. And thank you for bringing GSM to all of us. So if you didn't know who gave you GSM, that's the man. Thank you, because it has its pros and cons, but thankfully today we don't have to go to we used to go to some NITEL, and if you had families abroad, you will see people lining up and taking their turns, and then you have to be smart. Hello, how are you? How you doing? I hope you're fine. Then the person say, please hurry up, I'm next. So you stopped all that, and we remain grateful. But then there are the downsides of technology, the misinformation, the disinformation, the cyber threats that we all have to collectively wage war against. Of course, the governance deficits, the youth bulge, the inequalities that erode trust between citizens and the state. Ladies and gentlemen, for Nigeria, this day carries profound meanings. Our nation has both the devastation of communal conflicts, farmer-herder conflicts, banditry, kidnapping, and when we were growing up, I never knew that you could steal human beings, because that's what it is. We steal ourselves, and we ask ourselves to pay. So these nomenclatures hide the density of the crime. We also have systemic inequalities, and like he says, without justice, what can we do? We're only having what we have all termed piece of the graveyard. Inequalities, the youth bulge, and other challenges, a myriad of challenges. When the world is moving on, you can't see Nigeria sometimes at the center stage because we are inundated with internal crisis. From the painful memories of civil strife to the resilience of our communities in the face of insurgency, communal violence, and insecurity, Nigerians understand that peace is not abstract. It is the very fabric of our unity, development, and our democracy depends on this. Why must we act now? Why the urgency? The theme, Act Now for a Peaceful World, calls on us not to delay any longer. Peace must be built proactively through inclusive governance, through justice and respect for human rights, through education that nurtures tolerance, and through socio-economic opportunities that disarm despair. For Nigeria, this means also investing in the people. And remember what we said, people matter. Investing in the people, but also ensuring that there is equity and justice. Peace cannot wait, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We must tell ourselves, and I'm glad that this is a government institution Joe, I said, please take this message. Peace for Nigeria can no longer wait. Every day we postpone preventive action, human lives are lost. I just finished our daily briefing at the ECOWAS Commission, and every day we brief, Nigeria has the highest incident of death. 60 people die. They say, it's normal, nothing. But in a country like Quebec, one person dies, the flags are up. So we become numb. And so all the information coming out from Nigeria is they attacked this person, they did this, and we're all sitting because you are not involved. Your children are safe either abroad or in private schools. And we cannot continue. We must tell ourselves the truth. Things are not looking good. And all of us have to carry that message and see in our own little spaces what we do. Every day we postpone peace, I repeat, we are having human lives lost, we are having development gains reversed, and the trust needed for long-term peace is gradually being eroded. Acting now means preventing before responding. We have to be more proactive. We have to strengthen early warning architecture. We have to strengthen peace building to track substructural conflicts. And that means addressing the root causes. Don't shy away from it. Don't sweep it under the carpet and say, yes, it's all well, it's all good. Tomorrow it could be you. It also means empowering the Women and Youth Agency. I hate this idea of vulnerable people. Who is vulnerable? We're talking about social inclusion. You can't have an aeroplane fly with only one wing. You have to put out your best foot. And so I say, it's not tokenism to say, okay, Onye is the only woman on the table. So what? What do you bring? How do we expand the table to voices that matter and create spaces for people who have innovative ideas to contribute? As I round off, let me go back to my institution, the Ipcr. It is fitting that we celebrate 25 years of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. For 25 years, my Ipcr has stood as Nigeria's formal think tank on peace and conflict matters, offering policy advice in the face of very challenging situations. They have remained supporting mediation efforts and promoting peace education. You can see from the high table, the button is moving, it's not static. And I thought you could give them a round of applause. But the next 25 years demands even more. The Institute has to deepen research, foresight capabilities, leverage digital technology and innovation for research and documentation. The Institute also has to strengthen national capacities for peace education so that schools, universities, and communities produce peace builders, not conflict entrepreneurs. The Institute could also consider and indeed take on board strengthening synergy with Nigeria's domestic peace efforts and regional mechanisms such as the ECOWAS, the African Union, and of course the United Nations, positioning itself as a strategic hub of dialogue research and joint peace building initiatives. I think it's also critical for the Institute to strengthen communication by adopting clear strategy, improving internal coordination, engaging communities in simple and inclusive ways, working with the media to promote peace message, and using digital platforms to share this knowledge regionally, nationally, and globally. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on this International Day of Peace, let Nigerians' voice become clearer, that we choose peace over violence, we choose unity over division, we choose dialogue over destructions, and we must act now, not tomorrow, to build a peaceful, just, and prosperous country that contributes to the stability of our region and the wider world. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman, our father, distinguished members of the high table and the other side, the time for peace is now. The responsibility is ours. Let us act now. Thank you so much for your attention. May God bless our country, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Anye. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Anye. Thank you so very much. Please, a round of applause for her. She deserves all the appreciation. Thank you. We want to take some few goodwill messages, and I want to crave your indulgence. If it's possible, take some few seconds. If it's not possible, don't exceed 2 minutes. And that's why even our DGs, our former DGs, we just want to give the pioneer DG to speak on behalf of all the former DGs. Then we will give others a few minutes also to speak, but please don't exceed 2 minutes. Stay within the 2 minutes you are given so that others will speak, and then we take care of other very important event. So I want to request Professor Sunday Ochochi, the pioneer DG of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, to speak on behalf of the former DGs. Please, a round of applause for him.
Mr. Chairman, sir, the DG, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I was not given any notice of this, and but I want to say it's such a pleasure to be here and to have with me all
is George
my
coming back here?
former colleagues here, and to see how the young have also grown. To see Onyinye. One of the things that Onyinye didn't say, I know she didn't have the time, was the number of times she left my office crying. And she keeps saying that also. What was part of the building? I'm talking about others moving on. Ipcr has provided a very good ground, very good foundation to move on. And I used to tell the staff that the whole area of peace and conflict resolution was new, and you were privileged to be part of that innovation. And I know many of you came not even understanding exactly what it was. You wanted government job, you got the job, but now to tell you to do it at that point became quite some challenge, and it was some bit of war. Those who took it seriously, we trained, and others moved on, and it was a privilege. I mean, being part of the elevation of my colleagues here on the high table. The selection process at certain level, I'm very careful to use that at certain level, and at certain time was good enough to permit the movement of the excellent, brilliant minds. And I thank the government, I thank Nigeria for giving us the opportunity.
It's going on there, my guy.
Professor Jerry Ghana for the foundation.
That time, every time I go to his office, I must drink tea before I leave.
I didn't have
I was a child.
the privilege of working directly with him at the It was just after the approval of my appointment that he left as Minister of Cooperation and Integration in Africa for information. So when I reported, he was no longer here as minister. But we maintained close contact, and a number of issues. And I really thank him because the foundation he laid put IPCR in such a strategic stance. In terms of the goals and the objectives we want to accomplish. I think I want on behalf of all my colleagues, Dr. Gowa, Dr.
Bah,
Shita,
these junkies that
Dr.
are in Birmingham.
Bambuku, thank you for the
The
opportunity you
inheritors.
gave us to
Them
provide
that
some
don't
little
understand,
leadership
very
to you
terrible
and
as
the
human
cause of
beings.
peace in this country, Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Terrible. I just accepted that they're junkies.
Please, a round of applause to
They're what? They're everywhere.
Professor Sunday Ochoche.
And do you know
Actually,
the
that's
funny
the
fact?
side
They
of
don't
him that I
have
know.
public school, they're everywhere.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Do you know the
original
funny
pioneer
thing about
DGS
my
said
school
we should move you
they
people.
have their ways.
We do our best to move you
Do you know
people back to
Veritas,
presidency
The day
where
I was
we
in Veritas,
located you
went to
initially.
become
Those in
friends
favor
program.
say
Do
aye.
you know they use one exact book?
Those against
Like
are not here
7
at
people.
all.
They have one
I
lighter
want
that
to
they used
assure
to
you we
clean.
shall do our best because
I'm
that is
like-
where we located you
And
initially.
that time I had already graduated.
Thank you, sir.
So I
Thank
was
you,
like,
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I wanted to say that, in fact, the fairiness, the flame with which Sunday Ochoche used to convey this message, I noticed that this time around it's not like that. This time
And
around
you know,
you
it's
see
now
that
very
it's
fast and
deeper.
get along. When I was
It's
in
like
Birmingham,
a groaning.
get along at all.
Like, can you do this? After I have protested, after I have
Do you know,
carried
when I
placards
heard that,
down, I
when
have
heard
dropped
that
the
Birmingham students
protest.
now go to,
I've
go out to
put down
various
the
students, I was
placards,
shocked.
but I'm
Because
now
when I
on
was
my
in Birmingham,
knees.
because I graduated in
Please, can you
2017.
do this for me? Please, a round of applause to Professor Sunday Ochoche for that plea.
When I was in Birmingham,
And
Birmingham had already
we
done
we will do night vigil,
You are a host.
hoping that these prayers will be answered.
It's when we will do nice with you. You are a host.
All right. Please, I want to request that those giving goodwill messages, please take 1 minute, at most 2 minutes. I want to call on the conflict advisor of FCDO, Mr. Prima, to come for his goodwill message. Is he here with us? Mr. Prima, please a round of applause to Prima.
Jean is not allowed. It has to be corporate trousers. If you wear a skirt, it has to be a corporate skirt. The corporate skirt. See,
Good morning,
I've not
all.
met my school photos.
My name is Prima Grimdans. I'm a conflict advisor with the British High
Do you
Commission.
know that it's so bad to the
And
point that
I would like to stand on
Skirts cannot
existing
have skirts.
protocols. So our
skirts
chairman,
cannot be
the
pants.
DGs here present, staff
It's
of the
terrible.
IPCR, good morning all.
Yes, don't show body. Literally.
The UK and Nigeria have a very strong partnership that has lasted over the years. And for us, Nigeria is a country of extreme strategic importance. And peace in Nigeria, we feel, is critical to peace in the region as well as peace in the whole world. We are partners in this journey, and as the theme of today's event says, act now for peace. We want to assure each and everyone here present of the UK's continued commitment to the peace and stability of Nigeria, and want to ensure that our partnership remains and does work for the good and betterment of our great country. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Center for Humanitarian Dialogue. Please, a round of applause to Dr. Chris. He's a friend of the Institute indeed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm the country director of the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, a Geneva-based international diplomacy organization with the mission to mitigate, resolve, and resolve armed conflict across the globe. My journey with Joseph Ochogu, who is my personal friend, started some 20 years back, and it's important that I situate it in proper context. I was working with the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs while he was with the Ministry of Cooperation and Integration, and we happened to attend a course at University of Ghana at Legon, where the United Nations have come to recruit international personnel. So myself and Joseph, we competed with other African countries present there, and we were successful. So we had to join the United Nations. I said, Joe, let's go. He said, no, he's going back home. So we all took different trajectories. So from Liberia, I went to South Sudan, Sierra Leone, New York. In fact, when I was in New York, they said, this man, you are a political affairs officer. You should be in the field gathering reports. You should not be at the headquarters. So after putting about 20 years with the United Nations, I said, look, I've been in post-conflict and conflict zone for a long time. I have to come back home and deploy my skills, which I've acquired, making peace in other countries. So I decided to apply and got this position as country director with the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue. When I came back to Nigeria, Joe visited me in my office. Chris, you have come back with the dividends of United Nations. So you have to come and support me here at Ipcr. So Joseph knows why he did not join me, because he was aiming to lead this Ipcr institution. So here is Joseph, and Joseph, we have been working together, and that is the import of HG collaborating with the Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution. And let me end by saying that it's not just making peace. We should all aim at what Paul Ladra said about conflict transformation. We have reached that stage of conflict transformation. We should be talking about mediation, conciliation, negotiation, and arbitration. I think that should be the plank of future peacekeeping in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. It is important to follow up Chris' conversation by letting us know that the Institute now has a very strong alumni association. So I want to call for just 1 minute the chairman of the Ipcr alumni. Please, a round of applause to. You're here, sir. You want to call your comrades?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start from already established protocol.
It's very funny because most times the students are casting data that you hear at the end.
Today we are celebrating or talking about the most important industry in the world, and that is peace. Some of us that are here, we have passed through the foundation of being trained as peace officers, from basic conflict management course through advanced conflict management course to negotiation, mediation. That some of us are now chartered as mediators. We are alumni not because we are Nigerians. Yes, we are Nigerians first, but we have passed through the training. And today is we are marking the World Peace Day, and again 25th anniversary of this great institute. I want to say congratulations first of all to the United Nations, which I believe is the world government, the supranational organization that covers the affairs of the world. At least they have been able to prevent the third world war, regardless of the fact that many things are yet to be done. But while we are celebrating the world, celebrating the UN for the prevention of third world war, we want to tell you that let there be justice in the world. With justice, conflict will reduce. There is war in Ukraine and Russia. There is conflict going on between Israel and Hamas, Palestine, and many others. In Nigeria, West Africa, coup d'etat, conflicts everywhere, insurrection. Let there be justice on the side of United Nations. The actions and inactions of United Nations is more of international organization rather than supranational organization that should regulate the affairs of actors in the international system. Conflict everywhere, from family level to the international system, conflict. So where we are celebrating you, please let there be justice. Let there be justice. There are children in South Sudan that are crying and saying, where is United Nations? Who will save them from daily death? Who will save them from starvation? Who will save their parents from untimely death? A lot of work to be done. Another platform we will have to discuss this in detail. Then to the most viable and the most important institutes is celebrating 25th anniversary today, I want to say a very big congratulations, especially to the most active DG I have ever seen. The DG that works with limited resources and the most and maximize outputs. I was discussing with someone and say that this man, a lot of ideas, but little resources to execute them. But God will help you. Yeah, I want to congratulate you. This institute is 25 years. If I want to use this analogy of a 25-year-old man or woman, you see, in Nigeria, barely out of university, maybe looking for a job after you service for 3 years now. But I can tell you that this institute, the posture and behavior is like 45 to 50 years able-bodied man with full of strength, striving to expand the investment and prepare for retirement. That is the strength I can see in this institute. Can we clap for Ipcr? So I want to congratulate you, and I will say that your future will be great. We are going to do more exploits. We see you all over the places. Your footprint is all over the places. And I want to equally thank my former minister, Professor Jerry Ghana. My pastor is a pastor. You know, he has taught a lot of people. We are talking about tutelage. This is a man that has tutored some of us indirectly. As a matter of fact, I did my 1-year industrial training when I was in Voice of Nigeria. When he was Minister of Integration and Cooperation in Africa, I worked with him. He taught us a lot of lessons as a student journalist. And within the space of Anglican Communion, he has tutored me. He has taught us moral as a child growing. I grew through his training along with his son, who is very active in the work of God. Sir, I'm saying that God will bless you with many more years to do more exploits for this country and the world at large. Thank you, and may God continue to bless us.
Thank you, Chair. Reflecting on the paradox of peace, you can't talk about peace without reflecting on the impact of conflict in our society. I want to invite the do we have a representative of Spring? All right. I want to invite Institute for Peace and Economics for his goodwill message. Please, a round of applause to the country director. He's here with us. Yes.
I think you made a mistake. It's Institute for Economics and Peace, not Institute for Peace and Economics. Good morning. Good morning. I want to identify myself as a human being, not an AI.
Yeah.
Good morning, distinguished excellencies.
What year was it?
I see